Hi and welcome to this edition of Peak Life. Today we're going to be talking about the CASA program, and joining me is Natasha Knight with Human Services. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I know CASA is an acronym, so can you tell us about the program, just a little bit what it is?
So CASA actually stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, and what we do is we're a volunteer-based program that advocates specifically for children who've been identified as abused and neglected, or there are concerns of abuse and neglect, and they have cases currently before the juvenile court system. CASA is actually a nationwide program. There's about 1,000 throughout the country. Mm-hmm. We have 27 programs here in Virginia, and every city in Hampton Roads has one except for actually the city of Hampton. And essentially our role is to really be the eyes and ears for the judges who are tasked with making difficult decisions as far as to what should happen in the lives of these children. And so we are there to investigate, provide insight as to what's going on with their current situation. We're going to do that by talking with teachers, their parents, any other family members, therapists, anybody who plays an important role in the child's life, to gain that insight, and then of course building that rapport with the child and standing alongside them throughout the court process.
Okay, so you're looking for volunteers. Who can volunteer? What is the criteria for someone to volunteer?
So you have to at least be the age of 21, but we don't have any specific background or education, because truly what makes a good volunteer is somebody who comes to us with a passion for helping children. Mm-hmm. And that's really going to be what the driving force is. So we welcome anybody. We always are looking for volunteers because unfortunately there's always children before the court. You will have to go through a background check process, interview process. And we do provide about 33 hours of training. So we don't just throw you out there to the wolves.
Right.
We do make sure you fully understand how to advocate for these children, what that looks like. Because it's really important to us that if we get involved in the lives of these children, we are making a positive impact.
So if, say, someone were to volunteer, what type of time expectation would they be, I guess, involved in?
So on average, I would say our volunteers donate about 10 to 15 hours a month. We ask for a commitment of about a year. And the reason why we ask for that is because just the court process can take that long. Mm-hmm. One thing that we really strive to do is have one advocate for the child for the duration of their case. Children in foster care, sometimes they're going to have multiple placements, multiple social workers, just the nature of the system. So we want to make sure they have that one person that really knows their story and can bring that consistency before the court.
So if someone is a volunteer, they are assigned a child, for lack of a better way to say that, who is going through the court process.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And you said that may last for how long?
Some of our foster care cases can on average last 2.5 years, but it could be much less than that, because we also do cases where there's just allegations and it's custody cases, not necessarily foster care.
So you're also building a relationship with that child.
Absolutely.
And like you said, it may be a teacher or someone else that you would need to speak to.
Yes.
Okay, that's involved in that child's life. So would that person have to testify?
No. So in part of our investigation, we are just reaching out to them to get that insight, that professional insight that they have from working with the child, what they've observed, and then we're putting together a report and then making the recommendations to the judge through that. So we don't ask them to testify. However, the city attorney or somebody else may call them in.
Okay. All right. Well, how can someone find out about being a volunteer? Where can they get more information?
Well, they can call us directly. Our number is 757-382-8183. We actually are looking to have a class starting this fall, late September. So if somebody is interested, reach out to us so we can get them signed up and starting through the process.
And then there's also information on the city website.
There is. If they go through the volunteer website for community programs, they can look up the CASA program and find it there. Okay. It's just a general city website.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Natasha, for talking about CASA.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Well, that does it for this edition of Peak Life. Be sure to join us next time.